Welcome back to the Building Confidence podcast, where I, your host, Louise, as a party, share what I've learned through the years, through the tears, so you don't have to. This is episode 103, and we're going to be talking about getting things in writing. This episode is proudly supported by Middies, and I'll talk a little bit more about them later on. So, getting things in writing. Why would we want to do this? In a few different circumstances, we would want to do this. Mainly when we have shitty bosses, co-workers, just general. There is shitty people around us. So if you are in this situation where maybe you get asked to do a task and you do the task and someone says, that's not what I asked you to do. Or if someone says, hey, we told you need to improve on this and you didn't, when they've told you to improve on something else and you did that, so you didn't focus on something else that you could have been improving on, you put all your attention onto one thing. When we have people going back on their word, if you find yourself in this situation, then maybe you're going to want to start to get things in writing. Why? Because it covers your ass. Because unfortunately, as tradeswomen, and especially as if you're a female apprentice or an apprentice that is a minority group, if you are getting bullied, harassed, manipulated in a situation, the easiest thing is to get rid of you, not the supervisor, which is bloody awful, and I've seen it way too many times. But what we want to do is we want to do everything that we can in our power that stops them, that makes that process as hard as possible. And getting things in writing does this. Because if someone is saying, you didn't do what I asked you to, and you said, actually, in writing, here is what you asked me to do, and I did that. You did not ask me to do anything else. You are changing your words. A lot of this typically happens in corporate spaces with when they have a lot of meetings, and then you go and do the tasks from that meeting, but they weren't written down, and then you can get that follow back as well. So with trades, when we're on the tools, you might have your call in the morning. Okay, go do A, B, and C. Or you might get a call for a week or allocated for a month, whatever it is. And you find yourself pulled into a meeting where it's saying, hey, you're letting the team down. You are costing us money. You are not where you are supposed to be. And you are totally blindsided because you've been doing everything that they have verbally told you to do and you feel like you're killing it. And then now you're being sat in a meeting, being told that you are not good enough. And unfortunately, this particular situation, one of the girls that I support, she's going through this. And the shittest thing is yes, this conversation happened 3 days ago, but this is not the first time. This is not the 10th time. This is not the 20th time that I've had this bloody conversation. I have been in this particular situation myself. And I went to bat on it. It was for a small company, so I'll tell you the situation that I was in that, actually there was part of a bigger process, so I'll tell you all about that. So after I finished my apprenticeship, I was working on ag equipment, and one of the companies that we worked at actually designed and created new and custom ag equipment. So they had a draftsperson there, and what the draftsperson does is actually write down all the project plans, all the dimensions, where we've put everything. So then if this machine does become mainstream in mainstream production, then we can produce it quite easily. Here's the plans, cut the metal, do the things, order the parts, put piece of equipment together. So I had been having run-ins with this person for a while. So this was not the first thing. Not the first time, but this was the time, the final straw. There was a machine. There was a bar that went across, and you could put it either the bar could go either on the inside or on the outside. We had decided to put it on the inside. The draftsperson had put it into the drawings that we had put it on the inside. It was 4:30 on a Friday afternoon. Guy comes in. You put that on the inside. I told you that it needed to go on the outside. We agreed that it was on the outside. Now you have to fix this right now. You have to fix this right now. And I was planning on going out. I had, my life around that moment. I was a qualified tradesperson. I did not want to be spoken to this way. And I was like, no, you did not say that. This guy, in the end, it just come to he changed his mind and apparently he wanted to be a rude bastard about changing his mind. He couldn't just say, hey, I've changed my mind. I would like that rod to go on the outside and not on the inside. Like, it could have been that simple. But it was, you've done this. You didn't follow my instructions. So the first thing I did was went to the drafts person. Hey, I just want to see, I was crying at the time. It wasn't, my conversation wasn't this cool, calm, and collected. I was crying at the time, and the drafts person was like, okay, let's pull up the plans. Plans, yep, it's on the inside. He's changed his mind. Do you need help to fix what's changed his mind? I'm like, look, I know what to do. I know how to fix this, like the technical side of things, the actual thing, but I shouldn't have been spoken to that way. And he's like, the drafts person was like, you most definitely should not have been spoken to that way. He could have just come in. He could have said, hey, change your plans on the outside. Simple as. And I would have done my extra hours overtime on a Friday afternoon without batting an eyelid. But you know what? I cried a lot. I was frustrated. I was angry, and it was not okay. And I refused to go back to that site afterwards because I had been put in that situation way too many times. That was the final straw. That circumstance, I did have things in writing. My boss, my actual employer, because we were contracted out to this site, he had seen all these things happening. I had kept them quiet because I've spoken about him before. He was the employer that was going through cancer at the time of this situation. So I was trying to solve a lot of it myself. I wasn't super young. I was in my early 20s. I had a few tools and resources. I had some mentors, and I was really trying to work through it. Having things in writing allowed me not to doubt myself. Having that drafts person there with that, I had done exactly what I had been told. Everyone had done exactly what they had been told. And this guy just couldn't control his emotions, and that was on him. And I was lucky to be in a small business situation where there wasn't a hierarchy of people to go through. It was just like, hey, this has happened again. I can't go to that site anymore. You need to find work for me on another site. And it was fine. It was sorted. Easy peasy. It was a little bit difficult for my boss to create work on other places, but it was there. It wasn't too hard to create that. We managed to go through, but I could not be in that situation anymore. So getting things in writing. How do we do that? We can get them to put it in writing, and we can also get us to put it in writing. We can put it in writing ourselves. After a meeting, after a phone call, after after a text message, but it's already in writing from a text message. But after a Teams meeting, toolbox talk, after a phone call, you can just say, hey, in a text or in an email, hey, just to make sure that I got everything from our call, our meeting, this is what you want me to do, A, B, C, and D. Could you please reply and confirm or deny this? Just to confirm this. I wouldn't write confirm or deny. I would just write confirm, but in my head, it's allowing them to confirm or deny. And if they respond, yes, that's what I want you to do, then you've got it in writing. If they come and say, hey, you didn't do what I asked, and I'm like, here's the text message and saying that this is what you asked me to do. So the text message thing is a really good thing for tradespeople, easy peasy to do on your phone. Most of us communicate by call or text message when we are out on the tools. If you are an email person, or if you are, say, in that more corporate white collar space as well, and you're listening to this, or you're stepping up into that, or a lot of our team leaders and our supervisors, if you're a tradesperson who's also a team leader or a supervisor, you often bounce between those two worlds, the white collar and the blue collar. So that white collar space, typically we want to email them. Hey, just from the last meeting, A, B, and C. Or could you send me that in writing? And if they don't send you that in writing, by the end of the day, you put it in writing. All right? Ideally, we wouldn't have to, cross our T's and dot our I's like this. But if we are in a situation where we are being undermined, where we're being gaslit, that we are doing the wrong thing, you're not doing what you're told, then this is a way to cover your ass. Especially if you're working for a larger company where there is a hierarchy, there is a HR kind of formal process to go through. You can be like, this is what's happened. And if you need to take it outside of your business, you can go to Fair Work. You can go to all the different agencies. You can go to your union if you're part of a union with all this stuff in writing. So that's really important that way. Yes, keeping a diary for yourself of what's happened is great, but it's also your version of events. And even though, I would say, look, there are some shitty people out there who would make up stuff, unfortunately, but that might be 5%, and 95% of people who keep a diary are keeping the truth of what has happened to them. But unfortunately, if you are put up against a supervisor who is a lot harder to replace than you are, if you might be an apprentice or a fresh tradesperson, then unfortunately they might pin that you just made that up on you. But if you have it in writing, if you say, hey, could you please just confirm that this is what we organized in the meeting over that phone call, then it's them. They have confirmed it. This has happened. This is out in the world. People have confirmed that this is what you are supposed to be doing today, this week, this month, whatever it might be. So this is the power of getting things in writing. Yes, it might be a little bit more work, but if you are in a job or a position that you really love and you've got a shitty coworker, supervisor, manager, upper management, and you want to stay in this job, you just need to work through this one pain in the ass person, get your stuff in writing. Get it in writing. All right. So we talked about why we will get things in writing, and we talked about how. So why? If we've got someone gaslighting us, telling us that's not what they said, changing their mind, or undermining you by giving you instructions and then saying that you didn't follow the instructions and them actually meaning different instructions. And how you say, hey, just to follow up on that phone call, just wanted to confirm this is what we agreed on. Same in the email, or you can ask, hey, could I please get that in writing? If they don't send it to you in writing, you do, hey, just wanted to confirm this is what we agreed upon. And get that either text message or email, so you have that in there. Alrighty, so that is the episode. This episode is proudly supported by Middies. Middies is women's boxer underwear. I love Middies underwear. That is all I wear these days. But anyway, they are comfortable, especially when you are out on the work site, hot, cold, sweating, all that kind of thing, moving up and down. They move with you. They breathe with you. They are comfortable. You have no chafing because they're boxers. They're great. They don't ride up. They don't fall down. I love. So I do have a link in the description of this podcast, or you can find it on my website, louiseasaparty.com, to give you 10% off your Middies order if you do decide to order some, which I would recommend. And have a go. Be comfortable. If you haven't found comfortable underwear yet, please give them a go, because I do recommend. Also, if you would like any help or support with this process, or if you feel like you need some help and support just in your world as being a tradeswoman or a tradesperson, please send me a message. You can contact me through the website link in the description of the podcast, or you can find me on Instagram at louiseasapartycoaching. You send me a DM. We can do a coaching consult. What's a coaching consult? It is 1 hour where we talk about where you are, where you want to be, and make a plan to get there. And then if you would like me by your side for 6 months, we can talk about that. What that looks like is $3,000 for the 6 months. You can pay bi-monthly, where we meet every second week and we talk about your plan. How is it going? Is it worked? Do we need to regroup? That is what we talk about in those coaching calls. All right. So if you don't believe in yourself right now, please borrow my belief in you. I know you can do whatever you put your mind to. You might need to have a snack and a nap before, but I know you can do it. Enjoy your week, and I'll talk to you next week.